You've changed.
So do you think that Orange County has changed me? In the years, in the decades that Sean has known me, has Orange County changed me?
I don't even know who you are anymore.
So the question is, you may be thinking about coming to Orange County, and you may wonder, how is Orange County going to change me?
Because we are an element, we are a factor of our environment, right? And the Orange County environment is a powerful one.
Yes, Orange County is different, I would say, than pretty much anywhere else in California. It's its own little bubble. So right now, we're going to answer the question, how has Orange County changed me, and how is it going to change you if you decide to come here?
So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? I'm Sean Dezahd.
And I'm Courtney Dezahd.
And we're with Keller Realty right here in Orange County, California. And if this is your first time on the channel, congratulations. And you're going to think, wow, I love Orange County. I love everything about Orange County. I can't wait to pack my bags and go. And so therefore, you want to get lots of our videos. So definitely click on the subscribe button and definitely click on the notification button so you're notified every time a new video comes out.
The bell.
So now if you're watching some of these videos, now at least some of you might be thinking, wow, I love Orange County. I can't wait to pack my bags and go. I love the weather. I love the glitz and glamour, and I can't wait to move there. But how do I get into my home? So that's where you want to reach out to me and my team, and I'll make sure that you are taken care of by finding you that right property.
So don't forget to either give us a call, send us an email, or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.
So now we know, Courtney, that I have already been forever changed because I've been born and raised here, so I don't know any different.
He was changed in utero because technically he was conceived in Kansas City, but in utero he changed when he came over here to Orange County.
And I was like outside of the womb, I was like, you know what, the weather's perfect. I can't handle. Oh wait, or it's 80 degrees too hot, 60 degrees too cold. So I was indoctrinated into the orange bubble culture.
Yeah, so now that Sean's talking about the weather, okay, so we have 15 things. Here's number one. When you come to Orange County, you will turn into the biggest wuss when it comes to weather on the planet.
This one is incredibly sensitive to weather changes. She's literally a thermostat, a digital thermostat, not one of those analog ones. This is one where she'll feel the, a couple degrees difference here and there. Sure. And it's in the high 70s. Oh, it's starting to get a little hot.
Yeah.
Oh, in the 60s ish.
Yeah, 68,
oh gosh,
too cold.
Parka.
Yeah.
Gotta wear parka.
Yeah.
And it's easy to see why, because really this weather is perfect. I mean, honestly, I can't say there's a better place in the world as far as weather is concerned.
No, I mean, within cultural references, people often reference the Mediterranean climate as the best climate in the world. And
they should rename it the Orange County climate.
Or the Southern California climate.
Orange County.
Coastal Southern California. Because we've been to the Mediterranean, and while the Mediterranean is beautiful, I love it, the weather is not as good as it is here.
No.
Yeah, it's a little bit colder in the winter and a little bit hotter in the summer.
And there's more rain-ish. And so, again, as a Californian, not that we're against rain, however, as a Californian, we get freaked out by rain because we never get it here.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that's just one thing. And what's funny is, though, if you go anywhere else, if we go on vacation anywhere else, the weather doesn't bother us because you're just, in your mind, you think to yourself, well, the weather's not going to be perfect. So
yeah, you've already braced
care.
Yourself for it, yes.
Yeah, whereas when you're here in Southern California, you're spending so much money to live here that if it's not perfect, you sort of get really irritated about it.
Yeah, and let's be real. People pay the big bucks because of the weather. I mean, because, you go out on a January day and you're going, it's sunny, it's 72 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, you're wearing shorts and you're thinking of around the country, people are shoveling snow and we're going, oh my gosh, we have to put on sunscreen.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, places that are really sunny, for example, Denver, they say Denver is sunny 300 days out of the year. I would argue that Southern California is perfect in terms of its weather 300 days out of the year.
I think that's a good number. I would actually go with that. I mean, there are some days where it's a little bit chilly or
maybe
a bit
cloudy,
hot. Yeah, or like a little bit overcast. But yeah, 300 days of the year, it's just absolutely just beautiful weather.
Yeah, you just walk out of your house and you breathe in the air and then you say, this is paradise.
Everything is all right.
Yeah. I'd say another way that Orange County changes you is it makes you love master plan communities. Now, this is something, as someone, I was born and raised in San Diego. Not as many master plan communities, at least from the part where I was from.
Yeah.
And I hated master plan.
Yeah. When we first met in college, she hated Irvine and that everything that Irvine stood for, which really was like, code name for master plan communities.
Yeah.
And she hated the different shades of beige or just just how sterile she felt that it was.
Yeah.
And then for me, again, I was like, what's wrong with it? I was, again, born and raised. I didn't know any different. So I thought, okay, this is just what it is. And it's clean. It's nice. It's kept up pretty well. So I didn't have any issues with it. But over time, I've noticed this metamorphosis. The caterpillar became a butterfly.
For sure. I've just come to recognize everything that a master plan community can give you. I mean, you have amenities all around you, pools, parks, tennis courts. I mean, you don't have to worry about the landscape of where you live because it's all taken care of. I mean, just even a lot of these master plan communities, even where they are compared to stores and stuff, everything is so convenient.
And well thought out.
Yeah, very well thought out, that you just live in this bubble of convenience that when you go somewhere else that maybe isn't as convenient, maybe an older place where they didn't have the ability to plan because maybe their city started 200 years ago or something and they weren't expecting the population. It's just not as well planned. You just don't have this convenience that is just truly wonderful about these master plan communities.
Now, I will say this, that in Orange County, I would say that I wouldn't say there's not necessarily a hate of master plan communities. There obviously are those that love master plan communities and those that obviously are more ambivalent. And so if that, and if you're thinking to yourself, I hate master plan communities, or I love master plan communities, I can't wait to be there, that's why you got to reach out to me, because that way I can definitely point you to the right path to help you find that right property.
Yeah, because not everywhere in Orange County is a master plan community.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it really depends on what you're looking for. Another way that Orange County changes you is it makes you, I'll use the word incarcerated.
Oh, God.
Maybe a little strong, but it makes you incarcerated within the orange bubble, right? And you never want to leave. Even let's say you live on the border of LA, let's say you live in Yorba Linda or something like that. You kind of have this idea where you're like, but I can't leave Orange County.
You can't really step through the bubble. You've got to. You're in one of these situations where you're again. You call the term is Stockholm syndrome. I think that we should rename it Orange County syndrome, because we are just we're happy captors. Captives. Sorry.
Happy captives.
Yes, we are very happy in our orange bubble, and just to. Again, leaving the orange bubble, leaving it to the south is kind of tough anyway, because you have this swath of like San Onofre and Camp Pendleton.
So there's nothing there.
Yeah, so it's going to take you a good 30, 40 minutes, God forbid, 30, 40 minutes of driving. However, 34 minutes of driving to get to San Diego County, and then to get up to Riverside County, good luck, because the traffic's horrific to get out of the orange. So you're kind of like Hotel California. You can't actually leave to go to Riverside, California, or Riverside County. And then obviously if you're going a little bit north into LA, Orange County. LA's fine. I'm not against it, but you're so much happier and it's so warm and fuzzy in Orange County. Yeah,
let's just say a lot of the problems that you read about California on the news. I mean, everyone knows. It's
not Orange County's problem.
It really isn't. We don't deal with a lot of the problems that the rest of California deals with. We just really are in this little bubble.
Yes.
Now, we spoke about this before, but another way that Orange County changes you is that the rain becomes just this nightmare. Whenever there's rain, you can't function.
Because there's a couple different ways we can take a look at this. One is just, if you're on a walk, you will become the Wicked Witch of the West, where if rain hits you, you will melt.
Yeah.
And so we feel the need to run, even if it's a light sprinkle. We're like, oh my gosh, we got to run to shelter, because water is coming from the sky. This is a phenomenon we're not aware of. And then so there's that component of it. But then on top of that, the other component is, of course, our driving. Our driving leaves a little bit to be desired. And none of it is all of our fault, because I will say, pro tip here, when it doesn't rain, when it rains as little as it does here, when it does rain, all the oils in the roads and freeways, they start to percolate, and all of a sudden that road becomes a bit more slick.
Yeah.
It's not a coincidence that a lot of traffic accidents happen after that first storm, which we've actually been a part of, unfortunately.
We had me twice in my life.
But I mean, more recent, we were a part of something like that too, where the tire just couldn't get a good grip with the ground, and maybe during a dry day we'd have been able to avoid the incident, but that's what it was.
When I was 16, I got into a pretty bad accident in the rain, and I just remember the police officer telling me, she's like, when it rains, that's literally all they do is go from like one accident to another that's their entire day.
Yeah, so. It's SIG alert all over the place. Which is like this traffic alert basically. Yeah. It's brutal like on rainy days.
Yeah. And even though we are talking about how Southern Californians can't drive in the rain, I will say that when it's not raining, I would argue that Californians are the best drivers in the world, because anytime I go to another state, I'm like, these people can't drive.
Now, this may be a bit of a confrontation, like a bit of a take that might like stir some controversy. So if you feel like your area's got better drivers, feel free to comment below.
Yeah.
But I have to abstain from this argument. I'll let you, as the San Diegan in Orange County, like make this argument because, obviously we do have to deal with. I mean, we're used to driving pretty fast.
Yeah, we drive very fast. I think that's the thing, is that people who live in Southern California, because we have these massive freeways and people have places to go. I mean, it's a big metropolitan area and people have places to go. So you just get used to driving fast, getting to where you want to go. Whereas I think if anywhere else, maybe more rural areas, people just drive slow. Even where my sister lives, she lives in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and people just... they'll be together, driving on a freeway,
blocking
everyone so you can't get around them. It's so ridiculous.
And actually, I'll piggyback on that. I did live in Hawaii for a couple years, and when I would come back, Courtney would hate me for my driving. He would
drive about 45 miles an hour.
I was driving the speed limit.
No.
And so you actually, I did get used to driving at incredibly slow speeds because one, in Maui there was no freeways, but two, it's people taking their time. They just what's the rush?
What's the hurry, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where are you going?
Yeah, and so it took me, honestly, I would say a good decade to break free of like just what was seared into my just my habitual like muscle memory.
Yeah, for sure. Another change I think that happens is that you do take the beach for granted, I would say. You don't really, I mean, it's so beautiful and it's just this thing that attracts so many people from around the world every year, but we live here, so you think...
You go there, you think we would go there every weekend, any chance we got. And we don't go there as often as we should. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And yeah, but you would think that everyone has a surfboard, like in their garage, but that's just not the case. It's a very small percentage of people that actually surf. And therefore, I mean, as far as going to the beach, again, the beaches get pretty full, but a lot of it are people from outside the area, actually.
Yeah.
Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I love the beach. when I move to Orange County, I'm gonna be there every day. I'm just take it all in. I just love that California sun. That's why you want to reach out to me, because I will make sure that we find you that right property where it's either right close to the beach or at least it's pretty short commute to the beach.
Another way that Orange County changes you, I think, is that when you move here, you pretty much decide that you're never going to go to Disneyland again.
Yeah, so unlike the beach, I would say this is more true than the beach thing, because I haven't gone in decades, literally. Yeah. I loved Orange County, Disneyland as a kid. I mean, we would go there. I seem like I would go there at least once a year, every year growing up. Yeah. But then at a certain level, you're just like, the lines, in the baking sun.
Again, you take it for granted.
The cost.
Yeah. Well, because you can go anytime you want, right?
Yes.
So you're like, why? Another way that Orange County changes you is if there's, let's say you just want to go to the park for some reason. If the park is more than 50 feet away from your house, you're like, that's too far. Because Orange County is just surrounded by parks. Parks.
Yeah, honestly, I would say that parks would be, like, when people do reach out to me, they're like, I want to be near a park. I want my kids to, or whatever, like, I just like being near parks. I would say to that, you're in the right place. Because every place has got parks. I mean, if it's beyond 50 yards, you're going, what's wrong with this setup? Like, there should be a park right about here. So I would say that that's the least your concern. Like, for instance, Irvine, what we call it is like the land of 10,000 parks, because there's so many parks. But that's just, that's indicative of all of Orange County, really. Another way that Orange County changes you is your perspective of how much real estate should cost, right? Because $1 million house, I'm just like, $1 million, that's it? Yeah, is that half of a house?
Yeah.
Like, did you? I know it's actually kind of crazy, especially obviously we've had the run up, of course, but even prior to that, if you're coming from a different part of the country, there's I guess depending on where, but a lot of parts of the country you deal with this a bit of payment shock because I remember a situation where this guy was buying a 3-bedroom condo in a not so again it was a up and coming area, I guess the best way to put it. Nothing special about the condo at all. And then he told his parents, who are in Illinois, like, what he's looking to buy, and they're going, that's 3 times the price of a house here. And
a large house.
Yeah, and so, again, it was just so hard for them to comprehend that something could be that expensive.
Yeah. Although what's interesting, though, is that depending on where you're from, maybe if you're coming from the Bay Area, or you're coming from
LA,
even Los Angeles,
or New York,
or even, certain cities in
DC area, too.
Yeah, or in Canada.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or a lot of cities in Europe, or even a lot of cities in Asia. When you come here, you're like, wow, it actually is kind of cheap. So it's kind of weird, it's really a perspective of what you're coming from.
Yeah, because you're by going, wow, I can actually buy a house, it's detached single family residence for what would be like let's say a condo somewhere else.
Another way that Orange County changes you, and I would say this goes for all of California, is you get used to just astronomical gas prices.
Yes, that we got that cornered. I mean, it is amazing. You cross the state border. Any state really. Like it's a good $1+ per gallon more expensive, and that's part to do with our blend. We have very tight environmental controls on emissions, and so therefore our formulation is very specific to California, and because of that, there's not a ton of refineries that do it, and so our gas prices are up.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding very snooty when I say this, this is probably one of the reasons why there are so many Teslas in Orange County. I mean, it's kind of like this generation's like VW bug.
It's kind of amazing how many Teslas you do see here. It's unbelievable because, and again, we're Tesla owners, like guilty as charged here, but we do feel like when the gas prices are going up, when you actually take into account the car payment with the operational payment as far as gas, like Teslas are actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, people think of them as a luxury car, but in reality, I feel like for what you get, it's just like a normal car, but then you don't have to pay for gas.
Exactly.
Another way that Orange County changes you is that I would say it makes you very health conscious. I mean, people in Orange County are very conscious about the foods that they eat, exercising, getting outside, that sort of stuff. It's a very healthy state, I would say.
Yeah, and I would say that the barrier to entry for eating well is very low here. Because when you go to different parts of the country, you kind of see, wow, it's a pain to get like organic foods or locally sourced foods or whatever that might be. Whereas here, you have tons of farmers markets, which are just, and some of them are pretty amazing as far as the variety. And on top of that, tons of natural grocers, like where you can get tons of different organic produce or organic food items all together. And just it helps that we're obviously at the breadbasket of America, where we just have so much growing right here.
Yeah, I mean, even a lot of the restaurants that are here, they use a lot of the local produce from local farmers because, again, California produces most of the food for the country, and it's just right here. Another way that it changes you is that you definitely find yourself, I would say, outside more because there's so many things to do here that's outside, whether that's going to the beach or going for a hike or honestly doing whatever you want outside.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many trails. There's, again, the natural landscape. We don't have the forest, like the beautiful forests. We do have the Cleveland National Forest, though.
That's not really a forest.
So we don't have like these like lush, crazy trees or anything like that. But the Southern California landscape is really beautiful in its own right, where you have just, again, obviously we have the beaches, which are amazing. We have, some lakes here as well. And again, there's just tons of trails to hike and mountain bike and run.
Yeah, I mean, and then because, 300 days out of the year the weather is perfect, it's easy to get outside pretty much anytime you want.
Seriously. And
another thing that may change about you is that, Orange County kind of has this reputation of being very sleepy. Everybody goes to bed at 8 p.m., and I would say that's true.
Yes, I would say that, if you're like, oh gosh, I don't want to be a night owl. I kind of want to just go to bed early, and I don't want to have all this, white, this noise, right? Like this just white noise that's just constantly like ambulances or just cars or all that stuff. Orange County is actually pretty amazing from that perspective. It does kind of settle down as the sun, as dusk hits. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't find different places, but you know, if you want to be that person that goes to bed at 8 o'clock at night, then, you know, you're at the right place.
So another way I'd say that Orange County changes you is you get used to seeing people that have maybe a little bit of a nip and a tuck here, maybe some, you know, lips that are puffed up, or maybe a little bit too much plastic surgery.
Yeah, there's a thriving industry in cosmetic surgery here. So where you just have tons of doctors that cater, and there's tons of people that want to be catered to.
Yeah, I actually remember because I went to New York City for grad school, and when I went there, I was shocked by how few people had enhanced breasts. Because at the time it was a very big thing in Orange County, and yeah, so that's just the way it is.
It's one of those things.
So in conclusion, Orange County does change you, but I wouldn't say change
for the better.
For the better, yeah. I wouldn't say it changes you in bad ways.
Yes, you're going to be healthier. You're going to go get some good sleep.
Yeah.
You're going to be
outside all the time. You're going to love those master plan communities.
Yeah.
You're going to be just, you know, can't wait till you get home, and then you can go to that community pool and.
Yeah, why have a pool in your own backyard when you can just go to the community pool?
Yeah. So that's it. That's our video.
Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I cannot wait to move to Orange County, and I got to get there. So that means you want to reach out to me and my team, and I'll make sure that we take care of you. So either want to give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.